Here's an update and a recap of what happened between Israel and Iran within the last 24 hours. As of right now, it's been 10 hours since President Trump was live, and he stated that both Iran and Israel had come to an agreement to completely cease fire. And in the last 10 hours, both Iran and Israel have ceased fire and stopped striking each other. Yesterday, President Trump posted to Truth Social that Iran and Israel had both come to an agreement to end the 12-day conflict. However, Iran stated that they never received a proposal. And while President Trump posted to Truth Social about the 12-day conflict coming to an end, Israel was still striking Iran. So Iran's prime minister stated that they would agree to come to a ceasefire only if Israel stopped striking by 4 a.m. Iran time. Israel took this as an opportunity to release as many strikes as possible to Iran, which made the world believe that Israel was not going to cease fire. And Israel did not comment on whether or not they were going to agree to the proposal from President Trump. 2 hours after President Trump had came with the proposal, Iran took it upon themselves to fire back at Israel. Now, Israel's attack on Iran did not cause any casualties according to Iran. However, Iran striking Israel caused a few casualties and deaths. So when Iran began to strike Israel, Israel said they would come to a ceasefire. Now here's where it gets confusing. President Trump never stated when the 6 hours was going to end for both to cease fire. So when many of us in the United States thought that the 6th hour had hit, there is still an hour left for the deadline for both Iran and Israel to cease fire. That's why some of us reporting on yesterday's news thought that they were both going over the deadline to cease fire. Thus, I made a video saying that there is no ceasefire. And I stated that they were still bombing each other 30 minutes after the deadline, but they were actually both still good on time. When the deadline happened, both Iran and Israel ceased fire. However, 2 hours after the deadline, Israel claimed that Iran launched strikes at Israel. But the foreign prime minister of Iran stated that they did not launch anything at Israel, and Israel was using this as an attempt to justify them continuing to strike at Iran. And of course, Israel did attempt to strike Iran in quote unquote retaliation of Iran striking at them 2 hours after the deadline. But President Trump took it to Truth Social to tell Israel to stand down. And that's when President Trump went on live and he said that once he stopped speaking to the media, he was going to call Israel to demand them to stand down, and even threw an F-bomb on live television. While President Trump was live with multiple media outlets and he dropped the F-bomb, he made it very clear that he was not taking Iran or Israel's side, and he was irritated with the way that both of them were handling this whole situation. 40 minutes after President Trump posted a Truth Social telling Israel to turn around and to not strike Iran, President Trump stated that Israel agreed to not strike Iran and would be turning their airplanes around. And thus, President Trump is celebrating the 12th-day war coming to an end. Now we gotta hope and pray that Israel and Iran do stop this conflict and do not continue. As I've stated, it's been a quiet 10 hours. However, Iran has stated that they do not believe that Israel is going to stop the conflict, and they're going to look for an excuse to strike Iran. Many different world news outlets do not believe that Israel is going to stop this conflict. They believe that Israel is going to also look for an excuse to continue to strike Iran. And different outlets have stated that they believe that Israel is going to attack itself, or at least claim that it was attacked, so it can attack Iran again. Now, this is a lot to unravel, a lot to intake, and if you were keeping up with me, the news itself, it was a very emotional roller coaster. I didn't sleep for hours, and I just woke up from my nap. Ended up being an 8-hour nap. And praise the Lord, I did not wake up to more airstrikes. So is this the end to the potential World War III? Are Iran and Israel going to end their conflict, or is it just paused for a small period of time? And what do you think about President Trump's role in this whole conflict? Let me know what you guys think in the comments below.